Khary's Kitchen, powered by Food Hall, Grocery Made Greater, Ibis, a tradition of excellence, Caribbean flavors. In the heart of every kitchen, Lotus, the confidence to create. Correga Garden Supplies, Good and Natural. Indie, spice up your life, distributed by Edward B.B. Harry. Champion, always a winner, distributed by Edward B.B. Harry. Lion, the power behind our great taste traditions. Excellence Stores Limited. Live, create, do.
Sometimes when you have guests coming over, you don't want to cook a full meal, but you do want to cook something to entertain your guests. So today we're going to grab some chicken and we're going to a poultry store, because at a poultry store, you could get fresh chicken that you know is local. So today we're going to get some chicken wings and some chicken thighs to do our appetizers. We're doing some thighs and some wings. And so is this pack of wings over here. Right? Thank you so much. So I have my chicken wings and my chicken thighs, so it's time to get to the kitchen, start cooking. And we are back in the kitchen now, and we just came from the poultry shop where we got some fresh chicken thighs. What we're making today is some barbecue pulled chicken on some potato crisp. And first things first, these thighs need to go in that water, and we're gonna spice that up. But before all that, we wanna get rid of the skin because it's not something we're gonna use. So that goes into this pot with water. I'm not turning the pot on just yet because I want to spice this up and add some flavor. But let me rinse off my hands first. So when we're talking about spice, Caribbean flavors come to mind one time. So we're grabbing some star anise, some fennel, some cloves, and over there we have some salt. Because we want flavor going in this from the beginning so that in the end we could have nothing else but flavor. Some cloves go in, let's say about 6 cloves. Some fennel. Let's say roughly a teaspoon. Now with the star anise, these have a very strong flavor, so let's just go with 2. And of course the basis of flavor, salt. So we're gonna put this fire on a medium heat and let that go for roughly 45 minutes to 1 hour. So while the chicken is poaching, we're gonna make a batter which we are going to use to batter our potatoes so that they could have a nice outer crust on them on top of that crispiness. So we'll get some layers going, and in those layers, we're gonna get some flavor going as well. So the first thing I'm gonna start off with, it's my Lion brand self-rising flour, because it makes my life so much easier. I don't have to worry about baking soda or baking powder myself. It is self-rising, so I'm sure it will rise. So I'm going to use just about a cup of that, because I don't have a whole bushel of potatoes that I want to fry here, so that will be enough. I have some water over here and an egg. I'll start with my egg first. Let's get rid of that. Some water. So far this is roughly a cup and a quarter. We're going to start with that and see if we need to add any more. So this is actually looking like the consistency I like. So we need to add flavor to this as well, because we add in flavor on flavor on flavor. So we start with a little salt, basics. We're going to add some spice. Now, speaking about spice, I'm going to use this Indie Special Madras curry powder. So we're going to add a different dimension of flavor from the batter here to go with our potato crisps. So we get that whisked in, and it's immediately changed the color. I'm getting some nice flavor going there already. and our batter is done. Next up is the potatoes. So you want some thin slices, thin even slices. And that's just about it. Another key part of getting your slices nice and even is having the right knife. And I'm using the Berlinger house knife that I got from my good friends at Excellent Stores. So these have to go in water because you know potatoes tend to oxidize and turn to that dark color you don't want, and we don't want that. So you're gonna put these in water, and an added tip is that we're gonna put some salt in the water. That will start flavoring it, and it will also start drawing out some of that moisture so it fries better. While that is heating, we're gonna garnish this later on with some garlic slices. So same deal, just gonna get some very thin slices of garlic. All right, so the first thing we want to do is drain this water from the potatoes because oil and water don't mix. So I'm going to drain this out, and this was the salted water. And the next important part here, don't miss this, is to pat it dry. So we're going to lay it out in one level on paper towel on this tray. You may need to do this in batches depending on the size of your tray. It's very important to lay it out on one level and pat this dry before putting it in your hot oil, because if you don't do that, that oil and water will react, it'll splash, you might get burned. I don't want that to happen to you. Trust me, I know how it feels. So you give it a nice pat here with some paper towel. And when you're happy about how dry it is, you can get to the next step. These are good. So into the batter it goes, one by one. We're not in a rush, and the oil is nice and hot. And that sizzle is what you want to hear. Cook-wise, this will take about 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes or so. What you're looking for is a golden brown color. Just pay close attention because this is a spiced batter and it already has that yellow color from the curry we used. Keep a close eye on it and don't mistake what is golden brown from what is past golden brown. And again, you don't want a vigorous boil on this, on your oil that is. You want controlled heat. So the visual cues you're looking for, again, is that ring around, that's a darker color that starts to get golden and you know it's time to flip it. Another cue that, well, the thing with this, because this batter is so nice and light from that self-rising flour, it floats immediately. Oftentimes when you're frying, you know something is ready when it floats to the top, if it's something that sinks at first and then floats up. But this is a different case because we have some physics coming into play here. Right, no need to be too careful, you can go directly in. And what we're looking for is a dark, not a dark brown, a golden brown color. Right, so now that this garlic is done, let's check our chicken. And this is just about falling off the bone. Good to go. All right, so the chicken is just about pulled. And now we're ready to mix this. So we add in a heavy helping of barbecue sauce because we want all this chicken to be flavorful. We want it to be moist and full of that nice smoky barbecue flavor as well. All right, this chicken is well mixed with this barbecue sauce. We have a lot of flavor going on here. So you know what? All the elements are done, so it's time to plate. Now this one, it may not be too quick, but it's easy, it's a burst of flavor, and it's something that you could impress any crowd with. So I'm gonna start plating here, and for the base, I'm gonna use these potato crisps. Then we have this sweet, smoky, flavorful pulled chicken, barbecue pulled chicken. We're just gonna do some rounds there. And if you didn't want to plate it like this, there's another way. Like here, we could just stack it up and do like nachos actually, and just top everything on top of all of these and make it fun. You know, you could be creative and you could do it in the way that you see best. Just add a little more to this one. It was looking like I was stingy on that one, and we're not being stingy here today. So we have the fried garlic chips. That will give it even more flavor, give it some earthiness, give it some pungency. And you know, we can't finish it without having something fresh. So we have some nice fresh chive rounds over here. And look at that. You can't go wrong. All right, so coming up, it's chef school where I'm going to teach you some chicken butchery in a way that you may not have known before. But now it's time to taste. Welcome to Chef School, and today we're going to learn how to make some chicken wing lollipops. And it's simple. Think about a lollipop. On one side has the candy, the next side has the stick. So the same way, we're going to put the meat on one side, which will be like the candy, and the bone on the other side, which will be like the stick. So let's get down to it. First things first, you want to separate the segments of the wing. So there's the tip. You don't need the tip. We have the drumlet, and we have the winglet. Let's do two at a time. So once you cut at the joint, it comes away easily. And now, here comes the part that will demystify everything for you and make it really easy. So you go at the end joint. I'm using the drumlet right here, and then I'll show you with the winglet. Go at the end joint, and you just want to cut straight through that. So using your sharp knife, go all the way through, using the butt of the knife, through that joint, and you could just get rid of that over there. With the winglet, there's a thin side and a wider side. On the thinner side, you're just going to find the joint as well, and with the end of your knife, cut right through the bone, breaking the joint. And we have these others, so we're just going to do the same thing. Thin side over here, through the bone. Drum it, same deal. At the end of the joint, apply some pressure and through the bone. Now you're using your hands. So, pressing down on the board, just use your fingers to go around the bone, and it push down and push the meat down on one side, and you should get a pretty clean separation from the meat and the bone. And there we go. We have one lollipop over here. So this is from a drumlet. The winglet is slightly more tricky because you have two bones to deal with. So same thing, you're going to push it down from the end that you cut. So this is the cut end here. You're going to push the meat down to one side, exposing the bone, but there's another bone on the inside here. So this bone you need to get out. And how you do that is by holding on and just ring and ring and ring, and it will eventually come out. Just like that. Push it down on one side, and all the meat is on one side, and you have the stick or the handle on the next side. And there we have it, some chicken wing lollipops. And coming up in our Chef Up segment, you're going to see just how I'm going to use these and make wings a little bit different. So now I'm going to chef up my chicken wing lollipops. Get it? So first things first, oil needs to heat up, so we're going to go right with that in the pan. I'm using Lotus soybean oil. And we need a lot because we are deep frying. So don't be afraid to pour in your oil in here because you want your wings to be submerged. And let's start working on sauces. First things first, it's the blue cheese dressing. Start off with some blue cheese, of course. In here goes some plain Greek yogurt. We need just a little bit of garlic, which is grated. I use a lot of garlic. Mayo goes next. And blue cheese is one that has like a strong and pungent flavor. I love blue cheese. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but you can't have wings without blue cheese dressing, in my book. A touch of honey for some sweetness. And then some acidity with some fresh lime juice. And we combine everything. And what you're looking for is a nice thick consistency, but you want everything to mix really well. It will be chunky, and that's what you want. When you go to those sports bars and restaurants and they have wings on the menu, it oftentimes comes with this blue cheese dressing, and you can make it at home. And this is just about done, and this is what you're looking for. So for the next step, we are going to do our roasted pimento buffalo sauce. I'm going to need a food processor for that, so we're going to head across to this side. In goes roasted pimentos. You want some hot sauce. little salt. You also want some honey. We're adding a little bit of sweetness everywhere today. And a touch of garlic. And here we go. Now that this is simmering, we are going to add our cold butter to this, and this is what is going to finish this sauce. So we'll take just a little bit and you swish it around, and at this point you can actually turn the fire off and just let the residual heat finish the job. And with that, both our sauces are done. So when we come back, we're going to get to frying our chicken wing lollipops. Welcome back. Now it's time for frying. So what we want to do is make sure the meat is on one side, and we're just going to hold it in the oil for about 5 seconds just so it sets. 3, 2, 1, and let it go. And we're going to do that with all the pieces. And each batch will take about 7 minutes or so to fry. I'm going to continue this. And once all the chicken is fried, guess what? It's time to plate. And the last set is ready to come out. So after this, you know what time it is? Plating time. So for other people's sake, we're not going to coat all with the sauce, because the sauce is kind of spicy. And not everybody could do that. So this batch that just came out, we'll take just a few of the lollipops. Now we're going to dress these. So again, this is a spicy sauce. And here's where you mix that in, and I'm getting that aroma. Now we have our plate, the dipping sauce. Very important, especially for spicy things like this. The dipping sauce will actually help cool it down and mellow things out on the tongue. To plate our lollipops. The nice thing about the lollipop is that this is finger food, right? So the chicken bone makes a nice handle that you could hold on to without getting your fingers too dirty. And also with this spicy thing, you don't want to get your fingers in your eyes, so just be very mindful. We're going to double up here with the plain ones for those who don't like pepper. So we'll just create another layer on this side. And now you don't always have to make a spicy sauce. You know, barbecue sauce would go just fine with that, a honey garlic sauce. And you know, you could tell us in the comments, tell us what you would like to put on yours, if you'd like a recipe for a honey garlic sauce or even a barbecue sauce to coat your wings. And now we put the finishing touches, of course, because you eat with the eyes first. So you always want to make sure that everything you do looks good. Some nice fresh parsley sprigs there to add some color, to add some vibrancy. And there we go. So today we went from classic barbecue pulled chicken to some chicken wing lollipops. And it was all about share items. Whether you're having a movie night, a game night, or just some time with some family and friends, this type of meal is one that you can share, it's one that you could commune with, and one that, you know, is not a full meal, it's just so if you're feeling peckish. So until next time, this has been Khary's Kitchen. And now I finally get to taste it. That's what we're talking about.
Khary's Kitchen, powered by Food Hall. grocery made greater. Ibis, a tradition of excellence. Caribbean flavors. In the heart of every kitchen. Lotus, the confidence to create. Correga Garden Supplies. Good and natural. Indie, spice up your life. Distributed by Edward B.B. Harry. Champion, always a winner. Distributed by Edward B.B. Harry. Lion, the power behind our great taste traditions. Excellence Stores Limited. Live, create, do.